Welcome back to Culture Shock with Sholls. I'm just going boom, boom, boom. This is part 3. Kilon Shelley, welcome back to Culture Shock with Sholls. And part 3. This is part 3 of Black people and religion. And I'm also proving that your pastor is a drug dealer. When I talk about drug dealing of your pastor, this is what I'm saying. Like I said in part 1, pastors, is it Karl Marx or someone? I've not even done that research. Somebody said religion is the opium of the people. What they mean is that what does opium do to people that use it? What does cocaine do to people that use it? It makes them escape the realities of life. It makes them escape their misfortune. Someone lost a father or a child, or someone lost their home, lost their house. Someone fall in hard times. Not only hard times, someone goes with the wrong gang, somebody relates with the wrong friends and start using drugs. Some people even use drugs to be able to talk to women. They're not bold enough to talk to women. Or some women too, they're not able or bold enough to express themselves before men, so they use alcohol and drugs. That is the same thing that religion does to people, especially our African people. People want to escape their people want to escape what they are suffering, what they're going through. So they use religion to kind of like desensitize, or kind of like to make them accept what they are going through. That's why you see, for example, my country, we will say, we live on for God, we leave it to God. You know, anything that happens, they say we leave it to God, is the will of God. No, there are things on this earth you can do to alleviate your problems, but people say we leave it to God. You are leaving it to God. God has given you all the tools, all the things you need to do to deal with your situation. All right, so I'm going to continue with I told you my story part 2. If you want to know more about me, read my story as regards religion and what I know about religion, being a follower of Jesus Christ. All right, I'm going to continue with the points I was making from part 1. This is another point I'm going to share. I might put it on this screen, or if not, just listen clearly. Religion begins when a man, a spirit, or an object is placed between you and the one true God as a conduit. As a conduit. Check out that word in the dictionary. Conduit is like something that stands as a barrier between you and some form of power. For example, this wire now, the rubber, the plastic here is a conduit. So if the power that flows this to charge my electric toothpaste, the power that flows through this wire to my electric toothpaste, if this rubber wasn't there, it's just going to be the bare wire. So if I touch the wire now, I'm going to be electrocuted. It's going to shock me, you know. But the rubber here stands as a conduit between me and that raw power. So what happens is that religion is when a man, an object, or a spirit stands between you and God. God is raw power. God is power. You know what I'm saying? God is power. And you're supposed to communicate with God direct to get his power to live, to live a fulfilling life on this earth. But the moment a man, so-called pastor or bishop or whoever they call themselves, when they stand between you and God and be telling you things, listen, I'm not against pastors. I was ordained way back. I'm not against pastors. A pastor is supposed to show you. This is the job of a pastor. A pastor is supposed to show you in the Bible things that relate to what you're going through, or things that God wants you to do on this earth. That's the work of a pastor, just to show you, because they read the Bible, right? They read the Bible. So they are supposed to show you the things that relates to your situation, or the things you're supposed to do on this earth. They show you through the Bible. So you go through the Bible, then the Holy Spirit will talk to you to confirm what they told you, and you go do it. That's the work of a pastor. That is why I believe no pastor should live off of preaching. Every pastor should have a job. You should have a job. You should have a job. There's nothing like full-time pastor. Go and get work. Go and earn dollars. When pastors don't earn money, that is when they start looking for money of other people. You know, that's when they start looking for money of other people. They come up with gimmicks on how to get people's money. All right, so I said religion, every religious person, that's what I'm trying to say. Every religious person is, sorry. Religion begins when a man, a spirit, or an object is placed between you and the one true God as a conduit. And when a man is placed between you and God, even when God is not speaking, he will be telling things that comes from his heart just to deceive you and manipulate you to make you think it was God that was speaking. Okay, you can imagine pastors talk every time. They talk every time, and when they talk, go ask them, these things you're saying, is it you that is saying it or God? They will tell you it's God. But God doesn't speak every time. In my own experience, God doesn't speak every time. You can go pray for 24 hours, God will not say one word. Go and look at the Bible, you will hear the prophets of old, they will say, God spoke once and I heard twice. Because he don't speak every time, especially when everywhere is noisy. But these pastors speak, they talk every time. When you have too many words, you are a scammer. So people that talk too much, they are scammers. All right. Religion begins when a man, a spirit, or an object is placed between you and the one true God. You see, this is where at this junction I will tell you this. Since I became a follower of Jesus Christ, my life has had direction. And I've received help from heaven in so many situations. So many situations. Let me tell you this. I'll tell you one example. When I first came to America, there was a point, I was married then. There was a point, we don't have rent to pay. We don't have money for rent. And I prayed to God. This is what I said. Because I have a relationship with him, I don't need to go to nobody. Even if I will go to somebody, I will go to him first. I have a relationship with him. He created the whole world. Guess what I did? I said, hey, God, you own the heavens and the earth. You know what is going on, and I need help from you. I need you to, do something and help me, to pay this rent. I don't know how to pay it. We don't have money. I just came to the United States then, my first year. Guess what happened? I went to the leasing office to tell them, oh, I don't have rent to pay. Can you give me some time? Guess what they told me? They said, oh, somebody came and paid your rent. I said, what are you talking about? They said, yeah, somebody came and paid your rent. All you need to pay is just the water bill. That is $20 or something like that. I said, who is that person? They said, well, the person said we shouldn't tell you who they were. This is 11 years ago. Till today, I don't know who paid my rent for that month. Why? Because I have a relationship with God, and I spoke to him. So that is what pastor, image, spirit, that is what they do. They become a conduit. They make you not to have a relationship with God. So when you don't have a relationship with God, anybody can come and deceive you and say, oh, this is what God is telling you to do. So religion is when somebody tells you about God. Another thing I'm going to say is another point I have is this. Watch it. Look at it now. If you're a religious person, watch this. You will know if you're a religious person. Just listen to what I'm saying. Every religious person is connected to a middleman between them and their God who benefits financially. Every religious person is connected to a middleman between them and their God who benefits financially. I don't care who you are. You're a bishop, you're a pastor, you're an apostle. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm speaking to my African people now. More, especially to my African people. If you have a man between you and God that benefits from you financially, you're a religious person. You don't have a relationship with God. So this man tells you, he says all kinds of things, he says all manner of things, man or woman, he says all manner of things. At the end of the day, he asks you to bring your hard-earned money. In the first part of this series, I said when you become religious, you give up your intellect. That's what happens to most Africans. Okay, a lot of Africans, they pray, especially the country where I'm from. People pray, but the country is about the poorest country in the world. But people pray more than everybody. If you see Africans, and especially my people here, I don't want to mention countries and their names. When you meet my people here, everything they tell you about prayer, fasting and all that. But it don't mean nothing here, because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. All right, the next thing I'm going to say is this. I should have put on this AC. I don't know what's going on with the AC. Now I'm sweating. Oh man. Okay, anyway. So the next thing I'm going to say is unlearned and learned African pastors make a mess of intellectuals because they lose their intellectual abilities being religious. Have you seen a lot of African pastors that don't even have a first degree? They can't even speak English clearly. They are not knowledgeable. But they make a mockery of people that have gone to school, people that are intellectuals. You have your first degree, you have a PhD, you have a master's in whatever field. You go to their churches and they deceive you and they bamboozle you. They make a mockery of your knowledge. Because when you go there, listen, these pastors in Africa, they have learned the craft because they teach one another. They have learned the craft to understand that religion deals with your mind. Because anything you know, if you don't decide why do you think people that are illiterate, that never went to school, Facebook, the founder of Facebook don't have a first degree. A lot of people, they didn't go to university, but they are the richest of the people. Why? Because your intellect is not what helps to improve your life. Your mind is what helps to improve your life. When you make up your mind to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to learn how this works. When after I've learned it, I'm going to do it. We talk about having the grit, having the fire in the belly. In America, we call it having the fire in the belly. Having that ability to follow through with what you want to do. For example, someone's finances is not good and you decide that, okay, I'm going to build my finances, I'm going to fix my credit, I'm going to be credit worthy, I'm going to be financially free. It takes discipline. And where does discipline come? It comes from you making up your mind. It's not what you know. So African pastors know that it is in the mind that you make, it is in the mind that controls your intellect and everything about you. So what do? They target the heart, they target your mind with religious practices. That is why most of the things they tell you to do don't make sense. Why will an African pastor tell you to fast for 40 days at the beginning of the year? The beginning of the year, the last quarter of the previous year is when you plan for the new year. And as the year begins, you set the ball rolling. You hit the ground running with the plans you have from last year. But these people tell you to pray and fast for the first 40 days of the year, depriving you of your analytical skills, depriving you of your mind being able to make up your mind to start to do the things you planned from last year. And because of that, you suspend your intellect. Then you go follow their religious practices and you pay them for it. So there is always a middleman between everyone that is religious, that is making money. You might be Christian, you might be Muslim, you might be Hindu, you might whatever religion. So long as you have a middleman that is making money, that is benefiting financially between you and whoever your God is, you are religious. You don't have a relationship with God. And that's what they do in Africa. So the next point, as I round up, maybe I'll have part 4, but I'll end here and part 4 maybe will come later. But this is the last point I have here. Is that religion has the ability to reprogram the mind, corrupt it, and kill the intellect. Yeah, that's what religion is able to do. Because what is religion? Like I said from the beginning, religion is you doing things trying to get to God. But relationship is God trying to reach out to you for you to have one-on-one with him. You know, here's the thing. One of the reasons people will opt for religion than relationship is because relationship calls us out. Relationship calls us out. For example, maybe you're married or you have a girlfriend. Someone you have a relationship with, like kids, like my kids. I have a good relationship with my kids. My kids call me out when I do something or say something. When I say something now, they'll say, "Oh, you just cursed. That's a swear word. You just cursed." You know, they call me out. Why? Because we have a relationship. So anybody you have a relationship with, you are open to them. So most people don't want to be open to God because of the things you think you have done in the past. But God is saying, Jesus Christ came on this earth and said, "Come as you are. God don't care how you are. Just believe that I'm able to have a relationship with you." And that's what Jesus did. So I will enjoin you, since I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, that you should follow Jesus too. Follow Jesus and see how you live a fulfilling life. All right. So religion has the ability to reprogram the mind. You will see intellectuals. There's a video in Africa listen to this. There's a video in Africa of a pastor telling his congregants, his congregation or his members, telling them to go eat grass. I don't know if you've seen that video, but check it out on YouTube or wherever it is. A pastor telling his members to go eat grass. Like I said in the first part of this series, I said the coronavirus in South Korea exploded. Why? Because of a religious sect. There's this man that told his congregation or told his members that he is Jesus Christ that has come on this earth. Oh yeah, you're Jesus Christ that has come on this earth. And because of that, the people follow and listen to everything he says. It's like they're God. But this guy is not God. So what happens is that his members had coronavirus and they told them, "Come and do tests." But they refused. Because of what he told them. He told them not to do tests because he's their God. So they lost their intellect. They lost their common sense. Instead of listening to the health ministry or health workers to say, "Wash your hand, stay away from people, use a mask and all that." They don't listen to all that. They don't listen to common sense. And because of that, coronavirus exploded in South Korea. So religion has the ability to reprogram your mind, the things you know. Somebody that never went to church at all has common sense. And that's the funny thing about the world we live in. People that never went to church before, they have common sense to come to a church. Listen, people that have never been to church before, you know what? A popular musician in America went to church, and as he sat in church, the next thing the pastor of the church started talking about all the things they need. They need this, they need that, they need this, they need that, they want to build a building, they want to do this. Because he saw that this popular musician was in church. His name is actually T.I. T.I. went to church and the pastor started talking about the things they need in church. Why? Because he saw the man is in church, he has money. So he started, but T.I., this guy don't go to church, he's not religious. He just said, "Oh, he understands this." No, this guy is just trying to get money out of my pocket. But people that go to church every Sunday, they don't know these things. They bring out their hard-earned money and give to these people. It's not like I don't give money to charitable organizations. This is a normal practice in America. We give to charitable organizations. But what do? We check to know, what are you using the money for? I'm not going to give money to any pastor that he and his family is running an organization, running a business. No. I give to organizations that are dedicated to helping the poor, helping other people and stuff like that. The church that I go to, I'll say this, the church that I go to, the pastor is not a drug dealer. Because he don't own the church. He didn't found the church. It's a Baptist church. It's not owned by nobody. They have board of whatever. They have a board. The pastor don't even decide anything. He has to go through the board and all that. So the pastor of the church I go to is not a drug dealer, but most of your pastors are drug dealers. What they peddle in, what they sell is religion. Religion is a drug that makes people escape from their reality, escape from what they are going through, especially poor people. And these are the people Jesus said, these people, he cares about the poor. But these pastors, so-called pastors, I'm talking about so much about pastors because these are the people I know more about, and they are the ones that are really corrupting the whole system. Pastors do worse than every other religious leaders in Africa. Pastors. So Jesus said these are the people Jesus came for. But these pastors now go and steal from these people, and before you know it, the nations of Africa are where they are, and we are called the dark continent. So this so my video is for all our black people, because religion is part of our culture, and especially those of you in Africa. Why I'm doing this videos is so that you'll be able to use your common sense to know that this pastor is just a man like you. I don't even subscribe to calling anybody a pastor as far as I'm concerned. I'm not against you calling anybody pastor, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't subscribe to calling anybody pastor. Just call you by your name, that's it. When you start calling someone a pastor or a bishop, you start placing them in an office. You see, a bishop, a pastor, or evangelist, those are offices. It's like the president of the United States. People call him Donald Trump. The presidency is an office. Maybe after these 4 years, or after the next 4 years, if he wins this election in November, whenever he leaves the presidency, his name is Donald Trump. He will be like every other regular citizen. So the man you're calling a pastor is just a title. You're calling him by his title instead of calling him by his name. Listen to this. In the spirit realm, in the realm of the spirit, nobody is known by no title. That is why if you look at your Bible again, you will see where a devil was telling some people, he said, Jesus we know, Paul we know, who are you? So some of your pastors, they are not even known in the spirit realm like Apostle Paul is known. They're not even known. That's why all kind of things happen to them just like every other normal person. But they lie a lot. They be lying and telling you lies. So don't be a religious person. Have a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. He's the one that brings that relationships. You know, so check out Jesus Christ. Be a follower of Jesus Christ, and you will stop being religious. You go to church whenever you want to. You will give money whenever you want to. You will do things whenever you want to, especially as the Spirit of God, called the Holy Spirit himself, tells you to, not any human being or any false spirit. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you on part 4. This is Sholls, and you've been watching Culture Shock with Sholls. Write to me. Join our Facebook group, that is ACF, Africa Changers From. Until I see you another time, be strong.